Hi everyone, this is Cynthia Mascarenas with Triumphant and Treasured and the Ministry of Walk with a Widow. We have briefly introduced you to our book Widows are Warriors, which is a book that helps widows walk through this grief journey. Today we'd like to talk about our first module, which is the many faces of grief. You've heard of the many stages of grief, or rather the 5 stages of grief made very popular through the Kubler-Ross model. It's DABDA, which is denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. They don't necessarily happen in a particular sequence. Almost everybody experiences almost every one of those 5 stages. There's another one in there that I like to talk about sometimes, and nobody talks about guilt. And you might ask the question, why guilt? Depending on the circumstances of your loss, it's almost like a survivor's guilt, like it should have been me, it could have been me, it might have been better if it was me. Not everyone has that experience, but sometimes people do. So we would like to discuss the many faces of grief. There's the emotional aspect of grief, which really is the brokenness that it leaves you with. But then there's also the physiological. And by physiological, I mean grief in and of itself does things to you which are chemical and hormonal, which affect how you process your grief and how you journey through this very difficult wilderness of widowhood. You also have physical, which is different from, well, similar to, but not quite the same as the physiological. The physical aspects of not having somebody right by your side, doing things that require physical action, which on better days you would have preferred to do it with your spouse. And then you have the spiritual aspects. How you perceive God really gets affected after the loss of your spouse. It could drive you closer to Him. It could drive a wedge between you and Him, or it could just leave you wondering who He really is. And through it all, there's also the other side of the spiritual coin is, how does God see you through all of this? There are just so many faces of grief. We would like to help you unpack them, so to speak, and make sense of your grief. Because my understanding is, until you process why what's happening to you is happening to you, and in order to do that, you have to have some kind of a background understanding to some of the aspects of grief that you do not have control over. I often talk about it's what grief does to you. It's not what you don't have a choice in every aspect of your grief journey. It's when you understand that you can process things better, and it does help to be in community with others who are walking or have walked this similar journey, and they can help you make sense. Or even when you share similar journeys with each other, it helps you understand that you're not alone. One is, this journey is not, a lot of the strange and unexpected and what you might consider weird aspects of grief are not unique to you. There's comfort in that, in knowing that you're not losing your mind, and in knowing that others are going through a similar experience. And oftentimes when you talk to widows who've been walking the widow journey a while, you realize that they've survived it, and you will too. So I pray that as you watch this video and then you open your book and you read the chapters that are assigned to address the many faces of grief, that you will find healing, and that you will find hope, and that you will find community walking this journey alongside with other widows. Thank you for walking with others on this journey, and thank you for giving me the privilege and the honor of walking alongside you on this wilderness journey of widowhood. God bless you, and I pray that you will process your grief through these next several chapters. I'll see you at the next video for the next module. Thank you.